Hi, Daniel.
Adam.
How much rotation this weekend is necessary due to injury?
Yes, we will see. So, of course, we want to go into the next round. There's no doubt about this. But, of course, on the other hand, the league and to achieve survival has priority. And for that, we won't risk any player where we have any doubt. So I don't think that Anton Stach and Pascal Stoic will be involved for this game because they are still on the road of rehab. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is back after his illness, so good news with him. And then we take some late decisions where we think, okay, which player is ready also to play another game and who needs perhaps a bit to be looked after. But overall, no new injuries after the Chelsea game, and everyone who was available for this game should also be available for the Birmingham game.
Because there was a collision, I think, between Carl Darlow and Seb Bornau for Chelsea's first goal. Just wonder if there was any after effects of that and whether that will lead you to making a change in the defence, or certainly at goalkeeper maybe for this game.
Yeah, just a bruise, so they should both be available. Mm.
Facundo Buonanotte is able to play because of the rule change this year where you can play twice in the Cup. Is it reasonable to expect him to start on Sunday?
We'll see. So at the moment, it's a bit too early. I also like to speak about the starting lineup because obviously Tuesday night we traveled back on the coach. We're just here back at Thorpe Arch around just before 3, I think, though the players were not in bed before 4 o'clock. So we had yesterday just a day of recovery. We have right now this afternoon a training session, then also on Saturday, and then afterwards I will decide also who looks sharp in training, who looks ready in training. And then we decide who will be in the starting lineup and who will perhaps be left out. Then we will decide how much we rotate. Last time around, I think it was more necessary to rotate because the FA Cup game was on the end of a long streak of many games, and the turnaround was so quick. I doubt if we need to rotate that much for this game, but we will see. So we just take the decision earliest on Saturday afternoon.
You took a very strong squad to Derby in the last round, to be fair, and it paid off in the end, Daniel. Is there any scope for, some of the players you mentioned the other day who are making progress with the academy now with the first team, your Cresswells, for example, Lenu, etc. Would there be any scope for them this weekend?
Yes, we will see, but it's not like I will give gifts away for this game. It's not like we want to go out of this cup on purpose anyhow because we don't want to have the additional load. No, we want to go into the next round and want to see how far we can come. So I'm a big believer in cup competition without doing anything stupid. But it's not like we will travel with a completely different group or whatever. So we won't take any risks. But all our academy players have always a chance, more or less, like with good performances in training, to be in the spotlight and to get perhaps a chance to be involved, but not just because it's FA Cup or whatever. It's just like if they deserve it and they earn it, then they will get the chance.
But also there's those senior players, I mean, for example, say like Ao Tanaka, who maybe hasn't started so much lately. How much is it a chance for them to sort of reclaim, in your mind, maybe a stake to be starting a week later against Villa?
Yes, it's always a chance. So in football, things can change pretty quickly. All of my players, more or less, in the group have already started games, have already had good periods when they got lots of praise, sometimes also a bit of stick. So it's quite normal, and for that you always have to be ready. It's professional football, so when there is a spell when you perhaps don't get that many minutes, it's more like, come on, get your head down, work hard in training, impress in training, show good performance in training, show the manager and everyone that you're ready, and when you get your chance, grab your chance with both hands. So in football, the momentum can change pretty quickly, and each every game is another chance also to shine. It's important when you come into a game, make a positive impact and show that you're ready, and you should get more minutes in the next game. This is how professional football should work, and for that, for each and every player, also a chance right now also like to make a good impression and also to be back in the good books, and then to have chances also like to be involved in each of the upcoming games.
on the pitch, Birmingham City are unbeaten in 8. Off the pitch, there's a bit of razzmatazz with the American influence and Tom Brady and what have you. How much do you sense that they are a Premier League club in the making when you go there on Sunday?
We'll see. They have a good momentum at the moment. You have to say really, really good performances. I like the group of players, so really quality players. They definitely have a chance. I think currently they're just sitting 1 point out of the playoffs. Really good run of form, and of course, it's a club with lots of potential, and they are ambitious. They've also spoken about this quite open and honestly, and for that they have all chances also to do this. On the other hand, the championship is tough. Many teams are ambitious, and many teams wants to promote to the Premier League. It's not easy to do this, and for that they have all chances and all ingredients that you need. Very respectful. We know that's a tough place to go right now, especially because they will also focus on this game. They go into this game, and it's also definitely against a Premier League side, a highlight for them. I expect also a full packed stadium, a good atmosphere, and for that will be a difficult game for us. And don't take anything for granted. We have to be at our very best.
There are a few German players in the squad. Have you come across some of them in your coaching career in the past?
Yes, Marvin Duksch, for example, was my player who more or less revived his career a little bit. When he was in Dortmund, and we have a really good relationship, really good player, always capable also to do something special, to score a goal or to deliver an assist. A very talented player, and looking forward also to see him. Hopefully he can't shine that much on Sunday lunchtime.
And finally for me, Daniel, we saw Thomas Frank go this week. How surprised are we to see Sean Dyche lose his job, particularly after they were not bad in the form table? I think they were 8th in the form table over the last sort of 6-7 games or so.
I mind my own business, so I don't comment any developments in other clubs. We would also expect, also other managers or other clubs not like to comment on what we are doing here at Leeds United. For that, I'm also too far away to speak about what happens internally. I don't know exactly the responsibilities or whatever. So for that, no comments from my side. But what I can say is, of course, you feel for a colleague who loses his job, and especially once you have a proven manager like Thomas, for example, also like who has done so well for Brentford. He's not that just a good coach, but also a great human being. Of course, you feel for him, and also for Sean Dyche, a proven record also in the fight against relegation. The outside feeling was that he gave stability more or less after a bit crazy start for Nottingham, and of course then. It's more or less not up to me to make any decisions, or also like to comment on decisions. But of course, you feel for a colleague. That's clear and obvious.
Thanks.
Hi Daniel, good to see you. I noticed after the Chelsea game, you referred to your squad having a never say die attitude. How, as a manager, do you go sort of creating that culture, and not just beyond sort of your regular starting 11, and making sure that emanates throughout the whole of the squad and also the academy as well?
Yes, hopefully to lead by example. Also not once you have a setback, for example, to lose the nerves, or once there is a tough period, more or less like, then in this moments also to show resilience and not like to lose any motivation, and also to create this more or less with your everyday behavior. So it's not like, okay, you just press a button and you have it. It's more like you have to live it. And if you live it, if you implement it into the heads and also into the souls of the players, then you have a chance also to have a squad developing this never say die attitude. On the other hand, also to make sure that you sign the right players. So I'm pretty picky also on which characters you bring in, and to have characters here, especially for such a passionate club, who don't crack under pressure, who show also resilience in the tough times, and also to keep going, and not like I need players where I every day have to motivate them. So they need a big motivation, inner motivation, more or less. Like this is also quite important, and I'm pretty picky also like which characters we bring in. And if you then have many good decisions, and also like the way you try to set up the culture and you live it every day, then you have also a chance to implement this. But you have to prove it also each and every week, and for that, we're not just enjoying ourselves too much or praising ourselves too much. My lads deserve praise for the last week, the last weeks, and also what we've done over the last months and more or less over the last years. Meanwhile, but we want to prove this also in the upcoming fixtures.
Talking about having the right character, Sam Byram, we haven't seen much of him this season, but we know how much you rate him as a player and as a person. So, what impact has he had off the field so far this season?
Yeah, it's tough for me because everyone knows that I have a soft spot for Sam Byram, and I rate him that much as a human being, but especially also as a player, and sometimes hard decisions not to give him more game time or to several times also not to have him in the squad, just due to how far we have come as a club and how far we have developed. This is quite important because it's due to the quality performances of Jaden Bogle, of Gabby Gudmundsson, of James Justin. We had excellent signings more or less on the positions, fullback or meanwhile also wingback positions where Sam is also playing, and for that sometimes also tough to leave him out, but also he leads by example, so of course he would love to start each every game and to get each every minute, but I can always count on him. Always delivers each every day in training, top teammate, always happy for the team once we are successful, never moody, always in a positive way, and this is also like for me the same importance like a player who's in the spotlight, like Dominic for example, or like Ethan, who have played many minutes, or like Ethan wears a captain armband, or Dominic who scores many goals, but also the players who are perhaps not that much in the spotlight, they are responsible for the spirit within the group. And Sam Byram is a perfect role model for this, and also why he has also such an importance for our whole development. So it never works when you just have 10, 11 players in the group who are happy and all the others who are moody and don't hold the quality high in training, don't hold the competition high on the players who are starting currently. Sam is a perfect role model for that, still for us, although his game minutes are perhaps dropped a little bit. For me, still a crucial player also for our successful path.
Hi, Daniel. Obviously, respect the fact you don't want to talk about the situations at Spurs and Forest, but from a Leeds United perspective, I guess the contrast to October, November, when people outside of this club were starting to get a bit twitchy and nervous. Just talk us through your relationship with the hierarchy, the understanding that you've got with them and they have in terms of what you're trying to do, that presumably is the reason that they've shown patience and faith in you when others have got nervous.
Yes, obviously really good, very trustful, very honest relationship. So for me it's always important, especially for such a big club and such a passionate club. You have the best times in the history always when the group of key people is not too big, and the key people are on the same page. This is more like you can go through the whole history of Leeds United, when there are clear responsibilities, when there are the key people on the same page, when the club is united. Then this club was always there with most successful times, and this is also obviously once you lead such a passionate club, you have to make sure that you're all on the same page and you go into the same direction. And this is crucial. I've rarely seen a club being successful, when you have 4 or 5 times per season changing your manager. It's never healthy. We've also had this a little bit in the past, because also not for the players and not that easy, because everyone has his different ideas about football and different processes. So anyhow, normally it never works when you change too much and you are a bit like a flag in the wind. And it's also important for me. Again, I don't comment what happens for any other clubs, but it's more or less if you're convinced and you stick to each other. And this is what happens in football. So you can't bake results or bake success, but you can judge more or less how you work. You can judge if you have the right quality in the right positions. You can judge about, if you have the right person, and then not like to be too addicted to results, because it's football. You can have sometimes 35 shots on target and 80 to 20 possession, and you hit 6 times the crossbar and the opponent is 1 time in your half, and there is a 3 times deflected strike and the ball goes in, you lose again 0-1. But you have done not too much wrong. It's simply just because we all know how football works. You just have to be convinced that you have the right people in the right position. If you do so, then you also stick together when just 1 or 2% are missing and you're working together on it. And this is also the relationship that we have. And when you have this consistency, you go into the similar direction. You have clear responsibilities, who is responsible for what. Then you have a chance also in the best league in the world to be more or less successful. And if you have a look on which club, which team wins titles, which club, which team is successful, and it's never a team with too many changes in the hierarchy, in the management, in the stuff. It's more or less like who works with consistency. But again, each and every club has to decide if the right people are in the right position, if the right people, right persons on the helmet. They have to speak about their responsibilities. Who is responsible, for example, to bring players in for the recruitment, whatever, and I'm just fully focused on our own business because it's enough work to do to make sure that this club is respectful. So for that, I never comment on any other clubs.
No, of course, and I'm guessing it's probably something you felt at Norwich as well, thinking of, you know, when they were relegated and they persuaded you to stay. I just wonder how much that relationship comes into your thinking when you chose Leeds United. There's obviously lots of factors you've talked about why you wanted to come here, but to what extent you can sort of choose your owners, and to what extent that sort of comes into your thinking.
Yes, I was very aware that the season before I signed the contract, anyhow, we had 4 or 5 persons more or less in my role. And if you have a look on Leeds United's last 2.5 decades, was clear. So it's more or less like nearly double of amount of managers in terms of seasons that you had, and you are fully aware for which club you sign. But I have to say our conversations before I signed the contract were quite clear. We had a clear idea who is responsible for what. We had a clear idea about what we want to do. And I told you several times, when I pick also a club, I'm always out for doing something special. So can't say that my biggest motivation is always like to be the 39th manager who wins the 157th title for a club. I always want to create something special, and I know that there was not much consistency apart from Marcelo perhaps a few years ago, but apart from this you can't really speak about consistency and too much success also in the manager role. And I was looking forward to create hopefully something special, and had a really good feeling also with our owners. And the question mark, how much you can pick your owners, it depends always like how desperate you are to sign a contract. In my case, I have to say I was pretty picky. So I had to be convinced to overtake this role. It was not the other way around. So it's not like I applied for the job or I sent more or less like my apply over anyhow. I had to be convinced, first of all, to have the conversation, because it was normally never the plan for me also to work again on championship level, because I was up to create something different. So for me, it was always like, it was clear the next job would be on Bundesliga or Premier League level, and not to overtake a club in a situation after relegation. But due to the fact that I have worked in England, I know about the potential of Leeds United, about how special this club is, and especially how special this fan base is. Out of respect, I picked up also my mobile phone and need a bit conviction also, like to make me speak more or less like from face to face, because initially very respectful I said, sorry, it's not the right moment for me, but they convinced me with quality conversations, and right now I'm here, and the rest is a bit history.
Can we move on to the embargo section if we can turn cameras off, please?